Namaste. Welcome to class. So this is our first Tuesday in English for a while. So just to say that this class today will be in English for the month of August, and we'll see how that goes. Okay? And then if we need Spanish, let me know and I'll maybe add another class maybe Wednesday. Okay? So finding your nice tall spine. Getting a seat for just a moment. Allow yourself to come within. So just settle in. Stillness is the key to a still mind. Stillness of the body, stillness of the mind. Check in with your shoulders. Soften them. Belly, soften it. And then out of that strong base, begin to feel your spine rise up like a beanstalk. Softening the sides as you go. And then gently bringing the hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. The eyes can close or a soft gaze. Taking a moment to go inward. Bringing in the senses into the body. What do you see in the body? What do you smell in the body? Hear, touch, taste. What's in the body? Keeping your breath just soft and shallow, not controlling it, just noticing it. Where is it? With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past and present. With joy, we recognize the excellent wisdom teachings of yoga, Ayurveda, and with vigor, we dedicate ourselves to a self-transforming practice. We're the only ones who can do it. What do you need this morning to transform? Find an intention for your practice. And then repeat that intention positively as if you'd already done it 3 times, your sankalpa, your sacred vow. And then thinking of someone or something who needs a little extra effort this morning, maybe even yourself, bringing that into the mind. And then letting these thoughts drift from your mind down into your heart space. We'll bring them back at the end of practice. Join me if you can in one resounding Om, representing the beginning, the end, and everything in between in this universe of our existence. Exhaling the breath out and inhale to chant. And then slowly, just making starbursts with your fingers. Slow, nice, gentle starburst. Want to bring our attentions to every joint in the body. Okay, fingers. Now wiggle them as if you were digging into the fur of a big black bear. And then wrist circles, other direction. Elbow circles, other direction. Shoulder circles, other direction. Good. And your head, just lean it to one side and the other side. No big circles yet, our neck isn't warmed up. It's a little bit side to side. And then a little bit front to back. Don't let it go. You control. And then into the center. And then go ahead and take your right foot and shake it out. If you can weave your fingers through your toes, do that. If you can't get your fingers through your toes, just grab your toes and give your toes a little massage, cranking the foot as you go. So just cranking the foot, let it go, don't let it crank you. It'll have a tendency to do that. Both directions, good. And then shake it again and place the right foot down. Bring up the left foot, shake it. Weave your fingers into the toes if you can. And if not, just hold on to the toes and crank the ankle. Maybe just move the toes a little bit. Both directions. Good. Shake it again. And then place that down for a moment. Good. Bring our knees together. And this is really the only safe thing for our knees to do. There's nothing there. There's just some ligaments, a little bit of fat pads, some bursa, that's it. There's no muscle in there. There's nothing you can strengthen. So we have to be careful not to abuse our knees. So lining up your knees, feet in front. You can see your big toes in the middle. Just check your big toes. Hands underneath the legs. And just for a moment, raise up, almost to straighten and lower. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Left leg. Up and down, almost to straighten, but don't straighten it and lock it. Good. Okay. Now the hip joint for a moment. So just roll the legs out for just a bit, soles of the feet together, just playing with the hip joint for a minute. So with your left leg, just bring it in, let it go. Bring it in, don't let go. It's like let go, but bring it in and let it go back to where it was. I'm still holding it. Good. And then I'm going to make some circles and I'm going to hold my whole leg up off the floor and go with it. And then in the other direction, it's the hip I'm working, taking the knee so that I'm sure that this whole thing acts as one joint. Good. And just lie that back down. Now the other side. So just up and down. Don't let it go past. Today we're going to work on our hip flexors. We're going to work on lengthening the hip flexors, those which help you flex your hip, keep your low back stable. Good. Okay, and now just lift the foot a little bit off the floor and some circles. Circling the hip, keep the knee absolutely stable, and you can do that by holding on to it. Other direction. Good. And then both soles of the feet together for just a moment. Go ahead and lift yourself up, your sit bones for a minute. Sit yourself right down on the sit bones. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring your knees in a little. Hold on to your knees. Great. And then we're going to switch and be on the front of our shins for a moment. Okay? Pull your body as if you were pulling through. And then straighten your arms and relax. I'm going to do it from the side. Pull your body, draw through, toes or feet are touching, straighten your arms. Good. Lift, sternum reaches through, lower, curling the back. Okay, good. And then let's come into neutral, right up into neutral. Great. Bring the knees together, squeeze them for a minute. And then let's just cross our legs and come on up into table for a moment. All righty? So right into table. Just want to play a little bit with those hip flexors. So for just a moment, taking your left leg, make some bigger circles here. Left leg circling, both directions. And then back and forth like a pendulum, just back and forth. And then press it all the way back and press through the heel. Curl the toes under, press through the heel, long line of energy, that one side. Good, and then release it. Scoot over a little bit. And then right leg, circles. Other direction. And then like a pendulum, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then all the way back, curl the toes under, press through the heel, get that long line of energy. Good. Your hip flexor now is just in the neutral spot. not extended yet as far as it can go. And then release it, okay? Come up onto your knees. Excellent. Good. So our hip flexors, where we're going to work is right here in the groin, right? In that whole area in the groin. I just want us to be very aware of where that area is for a moment. So it's responsible for flexing the leg and bringing it up. So for just a moment, let's go ahead and try that. We're going to just flex, bring your left leg forward, and create a right angle for a moment. So right now, your back hip flexor, your back leg is just stable. You're not leaning forward or anything. Okay, bring the left leg back. I'm going to do it from the side. Now I'm going to take my right leg forward. So I've created a right angle here, a right angle, and there's nothing on this leg. We're going to see the difference in a moment. Okay? Good, and then bring the right leg back. Great, so let's go ahead and curl our toes under, sit back on your heels for a moment, looking forward. And then just come to straighten. Don't go past, don't thrust anything, just to straighten. And then back. 2 more times. Straighten. Pubic bone, tailbone headed evenly toward the floor. Everything is engaged, but nothing is pushing. And relax. Again, 1 more time up. Good. And relax. Now we're going to take our right leg forward again, but this time I'm going to use my hands. And take my right leg forward. And now I want us to notice right leg is at a right angle. And our left leg currently is behind us, but this time I'm going to push back through the foot. Okay? So push back through your left foot, push through the heel. So high lunge, low in the upper body, but high, legs are both up. Now from right here, I'm going to drop down to my knee. Now you see extension in the hip flexors, okay? So the knee is no longer at a straight angle in the back, diagonal. Good, so just think about this for a moment. Notice where your knee is. And 3 times, we're going to press into the heel, lengthen, exhale, lower. Inhale, press through the heel, lengthen, exhale, lower. Inhale, press through the heel. You can always put some blocks under your hands, give yourself a little extra height. Exhale, lower. Last time, press through the heel a lot. Good, and exhale, lower. Great. And then go ahead and bring that left knee a little closer, and then take the right knee back to greet it and just sit back on your heels, okay? Just notice if there's feeling a difference in the hip flexors, in the groin area of both legs. And now we're just going to come up. We're going to take our left leg forward, okay? So make that right angle first. Good. And your hands here could easily be on a block and give yourself a little bit more height if you'd like. Take some time and grab your blocks so you're set up for success. Good. Okay, now we're going to walk back the right foot, press through the heel, press, 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 and then lower. And then notice the lengthening through the groin, through the psoas muscle now on the right side, okay? So gazing down, inhale, lift and press through the heel, exhale, lower. Inhale, press through the heel, and exhale, lower. Inhale, press, exhale, lower. And inhale, press, 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 and exhale, lower. Good. Walk that knee a little bit closer back, a little bit closer to your midline, and then back and have a seat on your heels. Good. Notice now if the inside of the groin feels any different. Great. We're going to go to standing. So on the ball of the foot, see if you can stay on the ball of the foot as you stand. Just a little balancing for a moment. Just coming up into a toe balance, a little bit of a toe balance, and then just standing. See if you can stay on the ball of the foot. Balance for a moment, just on the ball of the foot. And then lower. Great. So we're up. Okay. Nice tall spine. Think about your pubic bone and tailbone for a moment. Okay, so they're equally headed down. So let's exaggerate that movement for a moment. I'm going to take my tailbone back. See how ridiculous that looks. Take my tailbone back. Find my neutral. Push my pubic bone forward, just as silly. And neutral. And then somewhere in between those, I can notice that my pubic bone and tailbone are reaching evenly down, getting some equilibrium in my pelvic basket. So find that equilibrium in your pelvic basket, just finding it. Good. Close your eyes for a moment. Press into the heels, the balls of the feet, the heels, the balls of the feet. Equilibrium on the feet too. Drape the toes down if you've lifted them, which most of us will have done. Good. So lift the toes, lift the pelvic floor, lift the diaphragm, keep your belly in. So your breathing is going to happen in your low chest, where you might find a sports bra. Okay, that's where the breath is, not high up in the chest, low in the chest, but also not in the belly. We need the belly to stay strong, to keep this area firm and supported. If you lifted your toes now, you can relax your toes, but keep your pelvic floor and your diaphragm lifted. Good. Okay, so we're going to play again with that same movement with this area right here. Okay, and I would love for you, when you take your arms out, to go to the side. I can't do that because I have a wall, so I might have to take my arms out in front, but I'm not suggesting that you do that. Okay? It puts a little too much counterweight on your shoulders, all right? You're welcome to try, but you'll see what I mean. Hands into the heart. So if you can take your arms out to the side, do so. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, begin to make your way forward. You can poke your bottom out a little bit. Make your way forward, looking at the floor, touching the floor or a block or a chair, wherever you made your way. Good. So we're looking forward here, and this is just key for a moment. I have a chair in front of me, which I may use, okay? So as I'm looking forward, I'm not inverting. If you can invert, which means if you don't have glaucoma, you don't have eye pressure problems, you don't have uncontrolled high blood pressure, or you're not on the first few days of your menstrual cycle, feel free to invert all the way, which means just head it all the way over. Keep your knees as bent as you need to enjoy this first forward bend of the morning. And then gazing forward, and those of you who weren't inverting, now we're right there with you, okay? And then if you want blocks, hands on the blocks, we're going to step our left foot back into a lunge. As far back as you can get it, then lower to the knee. Good, just be there for a moment. Notice what's happening. We're going to take our hands to our front knee. Notice that there's no back bend now. You're just leaning forward, diagonal line from your back knee up to your shoulder. And now you're going to add a little back bend by pressing and drawing yourself up. So there is a little bit of a back bend happening. And when you see crescent moon or you see a low lunge, what we see is the back bend happening through the thoracic spine. So you're welcome to join me by raising your arms if you'd like. You're also welcome to stay right here and experience the lengthening of your left psoas muscle. There's still a back bend, even here. There's still a back bend. Good. And then just draw the arms down, back again. Good. Rise up off your back foot, off your back knee. Take your right leg back to meet it. Press your both heels into plank for just a moment. Go ahead and drop down to your right knee. And then take your left leg forward, okay? So we should be nice and safe. And then reach through the right foot. So again, establishing the lunge on this side. Drop down to your knee again so that you're sure you're as long as you want to be. Notice where the body is. Notice that there's a diagonal line. And then bring your hands to your front knee. Push off a little until you find yourself adding that bit of a thoracic back bend. You're welcome to stay here, hands on the front knee, hands on your waist, or arms overhead, so that you can see yourself in a little bit of a back bend with the lunge. This is called crescent moon, for Anjaneya, Hanuman's mom. Probably going, oh no, look what he did. Okay, float the arms down to the knee. Establish and make sure you're all squared and feeling really good. Good, and then bring the hands down. Come off the back knee, take a little hop, half hop, and then a hop the rest of the way. If you're inverting, you can fold. And then inhale, coming all the way up. Hands into the heart. Good, and then release. So I'm going to do the right side. This time I'm going to give a different perspective because now you know how much length there needs to be in the whole part of that body. So your psoas muscle picks up at T12 on the back of the body, picks up at T12, picks up every vertebra on its way down. And then when it gets to your pelvic basket, it picks up the whole part of the pelvic basket, the iliacus, and then it goes down and it attaches inside the top of your legs. So it goes across the whole joint, right over the front of your pelvis, okay? So it helps you lift, 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 lift. So now we're working on the flexing it will sometimes get really tight. So we need to lengthen it, okay? So that's what we're gonna work on. I'm gonna do the right leg exactly what we did, but I'm gonna do it facing you. So you can decide how you wanna do it. Ready? Okay. Inhale, arms to the side or up in front. Gaze up. Exhale, let's head over. Looking forward. If you can invert, fold. Inhale, come back to that long line of energy. And then exhale, right leg back into a lunge. Good, press through the heel. Get as long in the lunge as you can. And then drop to the right knee. Notice your diagonal line. Bring your hands to your front knee. Notice there's not really a back bend. And then press up and get your back bend. Good. Arms can go overhead or stay right on your waist or on your knee. Noticing the lengthening of the right groin. You can put your hand there and just see, oh my goodness, there's not a divot there. Great, and then we're gonna make our way back down to the floor. Let's come off the back knee and then sweep the left leg back to meet it. Press through, plank for just a moment. Strong arms, press the floor away. Drop to both knees. And then let's take our right leg forward. Okay, other side. Lift up off of your left foot. Rock it back if it moved any forward. Press through the heel. Drop the knee. Good. Hands to the front knee. Notice your diagonal line first. Notice where you are. What tension have you created in your shoulders? Good. And then press up. Good. Added that little bit of a back bend. Use your arms or hands on the waist or hands on the leg. Wherever you feel that you're really stretching, not overly stretching. What we're trying to do is just take it to its maximum length. There's really no such thing as stretching a muscle. We're just trying to get it to release its tightness. Good. Excellent. Float our arms back down. Come off the back knee. 1 or 2 little hops all the way to the front. Gaze forward. If you can and want to, fold. And inhale, arms to the sides. Coming up, all the way up, looking up. Hands into Anjali. Good. And just relax for a moment. Take a few breaths. Just finding your body in space and relaxing. Standing Shavasana. Pelvic floor can soften and let go. Belly can soften. Shoulders skimming down the back. Even out your breath. Good. And then inhale and let's open our eyes. Okay. So we're going to still work in that same area now, but we're going to get in the middle of our mat and we're going to step back and forth. Okay. So in the middle of the mat for a moment. Pubic bone, tailbone, headed down evenly. Find your neutral on your pelvic basket. Find your neutral. So not pushing forward, not leaning back, no duck butting. Okay. Find your neutral. And then stepping your left leg back into a lunge. Go ahead and put the foot down as much as you can. So just step it all the way back, straighten your front leg. And that little bit of just showing the sternum to the ceiling. Weight is in your back leg more than the front leg, but they're both even. Balancing equilibrium. Your left foot is at a very slight angle, probably about 20 degrees. Heel is into the middle of the body, a little bit more than the toes. Good. And then bend the right knee. Relax back into the lunge and a little hop back to the front. Didn't think that was going to be much, but you can feel it in your joints, right? Good. Okay, right leg, step it back. Go down into the heel, like I said, about a 20-25 degree movement. Good, so there's a little bit of, a tiny bit of external rotation at the hip. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Good. Pressing into both. Show your sternum toward the ceiling. The weight is equal. Left foot, right foot. Keep pressing into both feet equally. Good. And then come forward, look forward, and hop forward. Great. Okay. So we're going to do one more thing, playing with that same area of the body. Hopefully everybody's okay. Let's just take a break and do a couple of other hip flexor things. So just hold on to a wall if you want, anything you want to hold on to for a moment. You're going to flex the left hip, flex the left foot. Good. And inside of the foot, grab the big toe. Just grab the big toe for a moment. So Pada Gusta. And begin to straighten the leg. Not really straight all the way. Don't sink into that right hip. Keep the right hip very active, really in the joint. Doesn't need to straighten all the way. Good. And then just release it. Good. Other side. So just holding on. Initially, just flex it on its own ability. Flexing the right foot on its own ability. Bring your arm inside. Grab the big toe. Don't sink into your left hip. Let your left hip stay integrated into the body. Begin to straighten the leg, maybe different on one side. No judging. Both sides are beautiful. Push into the left foot. Good. And then release it. And then we're going to just make a circle of the body. And we're working at the foot. So we're not working at our hips. Our whole body is going and we're rotating on our feet. So rotate over, pull up the right side of your foot into the left, go to the ball of the foot, over to the other side of the foot and back. So I want you to feel it in your feet. Knees are moving with it. Hips are moving with it as a unit, but it's the feet that are getting the massage. Other direction. Kind of how the Charleston was born. The feet are the key. Good. And then upright, nice and tall. Good. So there's one more pose that works a lot with us for hip flexion with no rotation. And that's really the one I'm most interested in right now. So standing nice and tall, stepping your left foot back. All we're going to do is pivot our whole body in Tadasana over the standing right leg. So a little pivot is fine. This is perfect. Don't need to go any further. You're welcome to go all the way into Warrior 3, but I just want you to see the strength that's needed in the hip flexors. Don't open up your left hip, okay? So staying firm, step the foot back and begin to balance. The left foot stays toward the floor, not out to the side. Little toe toward the floor. Coming out of it whenever you're ready. So just a tiny bit is perfect, okay? So now stepping back, other foot. I think I didn't do that. Stepping back with the, stepping back with my right foot now, okay? So over my left hip bone. That's where my flexion is coming from. I'm taking the whole of the right leg width and coming back. So try one more time on either side, okay? Left leg steps back, pivoting over your right leg and back. And right leg steps back and pivoting over your left leg. And back, okay? Good. So just notice how that area feels. Hopefully it's not sore, but hopefully you can feel that you really worked in the area of the psoas. Good. We're going to take a big squat, coming down to the floor slowly. So that's plenty of our standing for today. Wiggle your knees, wiggle your hips. Make sure your toes and your knees are headed in the same direction. And then bring yourself on down for a squat. You can be up on your ball of the foot or down on your whole foot, whatever feels good to you. You can also sit on a block or sit on a pillow. Hip flexors are totally relaxing right now. Good. They are bent into that pose. Great. So we're just going to put our hands on the floor, knees down. We're going to take our toes together, our knees apart, and we're going to go into an extended child's pose. So just reaching your arms out, reach them as far as they can go, lowering the body slowly toward the floor. Wherever you get to is perfect. You don't have to go all the way to the floor. Relax your shoulders, your jaw. You can be on your forehead or your chin, whichever gives the most relaxed position to your neck. And after you've had your shoulders reaching forward for a moment or two, reach your arms back and drape your shoulders around your knees. And then bring your hands in front of your knees, press into the floor, use your arms to press up, not your low back, not any of your back muscles. Good. Bring your knees closer together, sitting on the heels if you can. You can also put a block between your ankles and just sitting up. Close your eyes and take a few breaths, just finding equilibrium in the body. Good. Okay. So we're going to make our way to the floor, and we're going to use, if you can invert, I want you to do bridge pose, because I'm going to show you briefly how that really works with extending the hip flexors, okay? If you are not inverting, I'm going to give you something else to do. So you can still watch, because this is something you can do on your own, okay? If you want to know about how the hip flexors are going to work in this pose. So hip flexors are relaxed, okay? But when I come up, and now I have, everything's working eccentrically, holding it stable. But when I press into my arms and lift, I'm gonna need more length right there in those hip flexors to do a proper bridge pose. So as we're doing this bridge pose, if you do bridge, this is gonna be your inversion for the day. If you don't do bridge and you're not inverting, then what you're going to do is lie down on the floor, and I'm going to do it towards you. I think you'll see better from there, okay? So you're going to lie on the floor, hold on to your right leg, stretch the right leg out and arch over with your spine a little bit to the left. And then come back, release that leg. It doesn't have to go that far. And then draw in the left leg, arch over, just drop everything over to the right. Arch your spine. You should also feel the lengthening right there in that same spot. Back into the center, and then do it one more time to either side if you're not inverting. If you're inverting and you came out of bridge, go back in one more time, okay? Good. So just pull the leg in a little. It can be right up here, wherever it is, but just arch and blossom over to the other side. And come back. Other leg. Arch and blossom. Good. And come back. And then everybody looking for Shavasana. Corpse pose. Just finding yourself in corpse pose. Don't feel limited by your mat. Let your arms and legs go off like a starfish. Find your space. Wiggle your head side to side. Shoulder blades deep underneath you. No control of the breath. Letting the universe breathe you. But noticing the rise and the fall. Is it in your belly, in your chest, in the middle? Where are you breathing? Back body. And then slowly giving yourself up to the floor. Let gravity take over, relaxing muscles, tendons, ligaments, fascia, organs. The brain, like any organ, heavy. Any ambient noises in your space or mine only help to have you relax more, letting go more. Relax your jaw. Sinking in, letting go. Slowly and gently bringing your awareness into the breath, just the breath. Again, finding it in the belly or the chest. Notice the quality of the breath. Is it smooth? Is it even? Letting the breath begin to deepen a little as you roll your eyes in the sockets. Letting the tongue roam the mouth, the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth. Swishing it along the front of the teeth. Then opening the mouth wide as if you were yawning. Feeling the snap, crackle, pop to the ears, wriggle your nose. Beginning to swim the fingers and twinkle the toes. Waking up the senses. Slowly begin to bend the knees, placing the feet on the floor. Knees are bent, both feet are on the floor. Lift your bottom off, shake it just a little, half a centimeter off the floor. Shake it a little, swish it over to one side, and then drop your whole body to the other side. Curling up in embryo pose, all curled up, safe and secure. And then slowly, gently begin to press the floor away. Spiral up, keep your chin to your chest, letting your very last thing to come up be your head return. At the end, just stacking your head on top of the spine. Being still for just a moment, letting every asana integrate. Triputi, body, breath, mind. Uniting those three forces, body, breath, mind. Gently letting your eyes flutter open. Good. So today's pranayama, let's just think for a moment about prana, our energy body, our vital energy throughout the body, divided into 5 functions, 10 in some of the scriptures, but we'll stick with the major 5. And those 5 functions allow us to move and walk and be in the world. So when we do pranayama, yam means restraint or control or holding, right? So when we do pranayama, we are breathing the universe. And when we're not doing pranayama and we're just allowing the breath to come in and out, we're allowing the universe to breathe us. This exchange of oxygen and CO2. So when we have to take a breath, when we need a breath, what tells us in our brain that we need a breath is the build up of CO2, not the lack of oxygen. It's important that we understand this. So it's not the lack of oxygen that says breathe. It's the too much CO2 in the body. For those of you who are putting CO2 in your body in carbonated beverages, maybe that'll help you understand why you shouldn't. Okay? So our body is trying to release and get rid of CO2, okay? So we're going to focus for a moment on doing that. This practice is called Dirga Rechaka. And Dirga just means long, and Rechaka just means exhale, okay? So we're going to grab an inhale, however you can. You can take in a full yogic breath. You can take in any kind of breath you want. It doesn't really matter, okay? Just a nice big old inhale, pull it in, you can make some noise, it doesn't matter. Inhale, however you can. And then slowly, gently, smooth, pushing the air out, making the inhale as long and slow and smooth and even as you possibly can. If I had a feather in front of your nose, it wouldn't move. And then you have to move the feather, because for that next inhale, you have to really get some breath in, only through the nose. And then exhale only through the nose, slowly, smoothly, gently. Okay? So we're going to try Dirga Rechaka. I'll just sort of walk through one round, and then you'll continue on and hopefully do anywhere from 5 to 8 rounds. Okay? Exhaling the breath all the way out. Pull the belly into the spine. And then you can relax your belly and take a big old inhale. Once you got it in, slowly, gently, smoothly beginning your exhale. Take your time. I can't guide you here. It's going to be slowly up to you how long it takes. But whenever you get done with that exhale, grab another inhale and go again. And just keep going as time permits. Doing as many rounds of Dirga Rechaka as you can in this short period of time. Release the round you're on, just coming back into your normal breath. Noticing body, breath, mind, mind. Notice your mind. And then slowly letting your eyes flutter open. So the opposite practice of that, Dirga Rechaka, long extended inhale. And one of these is usually a lot easier than the other, and it depends on you. You can't say which one because it totally depends. One person is one person is the other. So in the other one, you just exhale the breath out as fully as you can, and then make your inhale slow, long, like pulling a silk in the thread. Long and slow and smooth, even all the way to the top. Exhale the breath out however you can, and then inhale slowly, gently. Okay? Ready? Here we go. Exhale the breath all the way out. Inhale slowly. As many rounds as time permits. I'll tell you when to end. Keep going. Inhaling in. Slow, gently, smooth, like pulling a gold thread. Releasing around your arms, staying with the stillness in the body and the breath and the mind. If you can be still, just be still as we transition into meditation. This morning, meditation with mantra. Hooking the mind with the mantra, lung, lung, lung. That's the seed syllable that grounds us to the earth, keeps us grounded, keeps us rooted into Mother Earth. Lung, lung, lung. Sliding right into meditation. Lung, lung. Bring the mind back gently. Lung. Nam, nam, nam. Nam, nam. Releasing the mantra, letting the brain, the mind, both settle in. Letting your eyes flutter open gently as you bring your hands into your heart, just looking down at the fingers. Any merit we may have earned this morning, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Bring your sankalpa, your intention, and your offering into your mind. Ponder them for a moment. And then let those thoughts slip out of your mind, down into your heart, and out of your heart, right into the very palms of your hands. And then lift your hands up and let it go off into the universe. Just let it go. Bringing your hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Okay, I'm coming to you for a short discussion. Hopefully your hip flexors are okay. Mine just know they've been worked. Let me get it where you can participate and talk. Hold on, let me get it here. I want you to know that you can write anything you might want to in the chat that you might like to see a pose built up to, or a pose that we work on, or it may be something that's just not appropriate for a group, but it may be something that the group would actually really learn from. Of course, you're welcome to tell me too, but if it's written down, it might be a little bit easier. And also, if you ever watch the channel in YouTube, you can see in YouTube the place for comments, and if you write there something that you either got out of that particular class or that you would like to see us do in class, because of course all the classes are live, so anything that you might want to see us do, we can try to do that together. Let me find you all on my, there you go. Okay, now I have you on my screen. Nice to see you this morning. Nice to see everyone. Good. Okay. So, oh, Elise, one of my dear friends from Memphis said she was coming and she's in class, and it's so wonderful to see you, my sweet. It's been years since we've seen each other. I'm so touched that you're here. Thank you. Thank you. Gosh, we've been friends since we were in our early 20s. I mean, that's a long time. Okay, everybody. Any
Ginger.
questions? Yes.
Goodbye from England. I must get back to work.
Oh my goodness, what time is it, Nicola? How nice to see you. Nicola spent time living at my house with me.
Yes, it was almost 4 o'clock, I think, now. So I've got about an hour back at my desk.
It's so nice to see you, and your daughter is so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. But Ginny, it was lovely practice. Thank you. Much
so
needed.
welcome.
I'm spending my life like this on the computer. So
well, please come to practice every Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same place.
I'll try to. Bye.
Thanks, Nicola. Good to see you.
And you. Bye.
Wow. Katie, is that a baby I see? Wow, what a beauty. That's amazing. Well, that happened really fast. Incredible. Okay, before I get too tucked into you guys for a minute, anybody have any questions about the practice? Look at Dahlia. Look at Dahlia's pose. I just want you to look at her pose for a second. That is a good, strong, extended hip flexor. If you're in gallery view and you can see Dahlia, she has a pose on her page, and that just shows what a nice lengthened back leg, because it's the back leg we're looking at, not the front leg when we're doing that. The front leg is flexing. Well, it's not really flexing, gravity just has it. So it is flexed, but gravity has it. It's that back leg extension that we're looking from. Because usually, we're like walking, and this just gets shorter and shorter and shorter. And then when we want to reach the leg back, we can't. We don't have any length and extension there. We have all that tightness up in the hip flexor because it really wasn't strong yet to do all the walking and pushing and moving, so that it just kept getting tighter and tighter and tighter, because a tight muscle will get you through a trauma. It'll get you all the way through. And then on the other side, you have to relax it. So that's why a lot of these yin classes, and of course, I'm not really into yin very much because I think a lot of us have a tendency to hang out in the ligaments anyway, but I am totally into restorative and letting us just chill while those muscles are at their longest possible point, while we're just relaxing and relaxing and relaxing and trying to get as much length there as we possibly can. So any questions about hip flexion or extension or anything? And how was the practice of the dirgas, the lengthening your breath for an exhale and for an inhale? Those of you who it was easiest to do the exhale, raise your hand. Easiest to do the exhale, raise your hand. Those of you who it was easiest to do the inhale, raise your hand. See, it has nothing to do with your beauty or intelligence or anything. It's just one is easier for you. Anna, which is easiest for you? Inhale? Yeah. See, the inhale for me is so hard. It is so hard. I have to focus so much on the inhale. And the exhale, I can hold it for, I can lengthen it, for 30, 40 seconds, no big deal. And then like the longest I can ever get my inhale to go is like 20, 25 seconds. So it's really, one of them is easier. So you need to work on the other one, because the ability of our lungs to, press out and pull in and press out, it's not really the lungs that are determining how much we get in and out. It's the size of our thoracic cavity. So as we move those breathing muscles, we increase the size of our thoracic cavity because we increase its flexibility. So then when the lungs do fill, they have more space. They can just go into that space, right? They find themselves, oh, look, I have all this space that I didn't have yesterday. because you've opened up those intercostal muscles or relaxed the trapezius a little bit, or worked on the serratus, or some of the muscles are just starting to soften. And also diaphragmatic breath, where we're really working on the red part of the diaphragm, that little bit of red muscle there, because a lot of it is just ligament tendons, and I mean, not, it's really fascia. So it's white, it doesn't have any blood cells there. So then you're working on the red part of the diaphragm to actually move that muscle. I think I've told many of you, like little boys in Tibet have these little round, they look like bronze rolling pins that they have on their bellies, and they're rolling the belly, rolling the rolling pin back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, to use their diaphragmatic muscles, right, to really build those muscles. So we can also use a lot of diaphragmatic breathing. Yeah. Okay. Anything else we need to talk about?
I have a question.
Yes, Jana.
When I go into Shavasana, have you heard of TRE, trauma releasing exercise? So when I go into Shavasana, it feels like my body wants to just tremor for a little bit and like release stuff. And then I'm able to just really let go into Shavasana. Do you have any thoughts about that?
I think that's great. I think a lot of times the poses, sometimes we'll hold a pose to do trauma release. We'll hold that pose until the body begins to shake, right? It's just finding yourself in that position until you get that trauma release. So I mean, I think it's fine. A lot of times, not necessarily to bring on a tremor, but to bring on the release, we'll do, tighten the muscles and then release the muscles, and tighten the muscles and release the muscles several times. The teacher will say that, so that people actually can also help themselves release. I'm not very vocal in Shavasana because I really myself like it to just be quiet. So there are people who actually lead Shavasana and talk the whole 10 minutes, and I want to just shoot them. So I sort of have my preference, right? I'd rather be quiet and just let me chill. So I try to give enough that you want to relax, but not enough that you're going, would she just shut up and let me relax, right? So.
Well, it's the first time that that's happened, like in these classes recently, and it's been really nice. Yeah, feel like my body is just naturally doing that tremor and then just able to release it.
Good for you. I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's a very good sign. Well, without my knowing it, I didn't realize the time, and I thought I was booking myself for 10:15, but I booked myself a 9:15 Ayurvedic appointment with a student. So I'm gonna take off this because I'm gonna have to get him into my computer on the same Zoom link. So it's so wonderful to see you all. I'm so honored and glad you came to class today. Thank you. Thank you. And
thank you.
Hope to see you on Thursday. Thursday's my birthday. Party, party. So I hope to see you on Thursday, okay? And
Okay.
Liz, welcome to class, Liz. It's so nice to see you in class. Glad you're here. Good. Excellent. Okay, everybody. See you on Thursday, hopefully. Much love.